Okay, this is going to be an example of bringing somebody to this screen. You've already gone through the symbol balance loaded, and you're going to go ahead and pick a plan for them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let them see this screen, and basically what I'm going to do is say, hey, Mr. Client, so what we'll do now is we're going to go to what's called my broker office, and this is where I can basically get all the quotes. As you see, it's really good that we went through all that stuff because there's really an endless amount of plans, okay? Now we're going to use this to our advantage, and I'm just going to go ahead right now and filter for the plans that we want to look at. And we basically went through everything. We decided we're going to look at symbol plans. So what I'm going to do is I'm filtering this, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out some plans that would be kind of the ones that we were looking at, okay? So I'm going to pull these up. And we're going to just go ahead and get a number of different ones picked. And the real goal really this is to try and get really apple-to-apples comparison plans here. So that's basically what we're trying to do. So let's pull this up. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the plans on here. And here we are, okay? So generally what we have here, just so you know that this is a nice place for us to look at all the plans. You'll see that we have a number of different companies here on the left. United Health One, Assurant, Priority Health, Humana. And what I've tried to do is I've tried to make these all apples to apples as possible. So there's going to be some slight differences here or there, but they're really, really minor. So we're really looking at plans that are just about identical. Okay. Don't pay too much attention to this column. All this really means is that each plan has a network that you have to belong to, whether it's called a PPO or a network, it doesn't really matter. Okay? But really the whole goal here is a chance for you to see the market, right? So you'll see that we have a deductible listed here, and this is one deductible for the family. Even here with Priority, it's just one deductible, which in this case is a $4,000 family deductible, and so forth and so on, okay? And what's really nice about doing this together this way is we can make sure that you're getting like a really good value for your dollar. And I'll give you an example. Let's just say you randomly went out there and you go, $400 is within my budget for health insurance. So, anything around there is fine for me. Well, if we just randomly go out and do that, or let's even say you said $500 is my budget. Let's just take a look at how different even $5,000 deductibles be. Let's say you go, well, this is a little over my budget, but I can probably afford it, so I'm just going to go do that one. So if you randomly just went out and did that, you might be happy with what you've picked, but really, did you do the best? Did you do the best that you could? And you'll see really here, if we go to plans that are similar to this, we have one from Assurant Health, which is a little higher deductible, but the difference is massive, right? It's about, $170 difference. And then we have United Healthcare here, which is the exact same as this, and it's almost, it's about $210. And then if you go a little bit higher here, you're going to get even lower. Okay, so by shopping, we're going to be able to get everything in. So as an example, let's say you said 500 was your budget, and you thought this was fine. Well, now just because we've shopped so well, let's say, well, maybe you think this one will work. And now we can build in those other things, and it's going to be very affordable for you, right? The critical illness and the accident, which roughly you can prop maybe $30 for accident. Usually it'll be somewhere in there. And critical illness is anywhere from maybe 30 to 50, even 20 to 50, depending on what you want to get. Okay, but so just think maybe 60, 70, $80 more. But that's not so bad because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the most for your dollar and then kind of maximize everything. So even think about this. You could go ahead and do this one here. You could build in that critical illness and accident and be around 4. Right? And what a wonderful thing we've done, right? We've taken the time to shop the market, to see everything, and now you're getting a whole bunch more for your money than you did before. And if we go back to this here, let me just close this for a second. If we jump back to this and what we'll do together, the first thing we said really is that we're going to make sure we spend your money wisely and effectively, right? And that's really what we're doing here. We're not randomly going out. We're looking. We're making sure, and that's a good a really good way to shop. And as you look at the board, Mr. Client, is there anything that really stands out to you here? A plan that you think will kind of work for you guys? Yeah, I think, now that I look at it, that one from, I think that second one from the top, right? That 5,000 one from United Healthcare. I think if we do that with, accident and a critical illness, if it's around 400, that would be great. That would work out just fine. Yeah, I think that would be just fine. Okay, so you're really looking at this one to be a pretty good fit, yeah. But isn't it nice, though, that you can do it with confidence now? You've seen it, what the market is and that kind of stuff. Does that sound good? Okay, well, we're going to do one more thing, though, before we get started, okay? What we're going to do is I want a quick look at the brochure with you so you know that it is what we say that it is, because it's not going to make any sense for you if it's not. And it's always important to look at details of a plan, but I want to do it here, right on the plan that we've picked. So let's just pull this up for a minute, and it's going to take a second just to load. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a certain size so it's easy for us to both see. And let's just jump to that page for a minute. And that's called the one deductible HSA. Okay, so here's the HSA 100. And now what we'll do is we're going to go through the details here, okay? So what we're going to see is you have a $5,000 deductible, and it's per family, right? So it's just one deductible for you guys for the entire year. There's no co-insurance, there's no extra out-of-pocket here, all right? Basically, when you see no charge after deductible, that means it's covered at 100% after the deductible has been paid, all right? And everything counts towards the deductible too. But what you'll see on a good plan here, Mr. Client, really is you're going to see no charge after deductible pretty much all the way across the board. Okay, and that means it's really good quality. They do limit spine and back a little bit. I think it's up to $2,500 per person, and that's basically just outpatient. So it really means you can go to the chiropractor once a week, but you can't go 5 days a week. It's basically what it is, okay? So they try and limit that a little bit. Other than that, it's just really high end. If there's anything you want to go over here, we can do it, but you're going to just see no charge after deductible. There's no unreasonable limits put in here. There's no extra deductibles thrown in. It's just pretty much as straightforward as it gets. Okay? On a side here, to agents listening to this, you can sometimes go to the deductible credit at this point because it is a nice thing to show them. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't, but it's kind of a nice thing. And all you'd really have to do is jump to that page and say, hey, look, just remember too, as you have this plan, your deductible is going to go down on, pretty much an annual basis when you don't get through your deductible. So, and you can explain that there, it's basically 20% a year is really what it comes down to. Okay, so, and you can go ahead and do the math on that. So if you start year one at $5,000, and then basically, 20% of that is $1,000. So in your first year, your deductible is going to be $5,000. At the end of that year, it's going to be down to $4,000. Somebody just clear that up. So it's going to be down to $4,000, and then the most it'll go down to is $2,500. But that's the way that you guys, if you have like a really healthy situation for a couple years, you're going to get credited for that, right? Your deductible is going to go down, and that's going to be nice for you guys, right? Because you're, like you said when we got started, you're pretty healthy anyway, so that's really important for that. Okay, does that make sense? All right, good. And then we'll do just one more thing then. Do you have any doctors or anything that you want to make sure that are in network? Because we definitely want this plan to work for you. And make sure that a doctor's included, okay? So let's pull that up. And did you have a couple doctors? Yeah, I have Dr. Jones and Dr. Smith. So I'd like to see if they're in there. All right, so we'll do that. So what you see here is this is United Healthcare Network, and we're going to select that network. Basically what this is, everybody, is I have my computer set to a different date, 4/20/2011, because I have this program on here where I can record the screen, but it expired a long time ago, but if I switch the date, it still lets me use the program, so that's my trick. All right, so we're going to pull up Dr. Smith here, and let's just say, it was an easy one, or it was just another name, and I'll go, okay, let's look. Yeah, there's Lauren Smith right there, okay? So Dr. Lauren Smith is in network. Any other doctors you want to see? Yeah, let's look up... let's see. Let's just come up with a different name and see if it's in there. How about Dr. Trent? Let's see if Dr. Trent's in there. Let's pull that up. Okay, yeah. Oh, not really. All right, so that's just one I made up. So let's just go simple. Let's go Wilson. Dr. Wilson. Let's go see if Dr. Wilson's in network. And let's pull that up. And yep, there's David Wilson right there. Okay, so David Wilson's in network, so you're going to have no problems with that. You can do the same thing, look up a hospital here. Okay, but that's what I basically do when I do that. And then basically I'll just close this stuff up, get back to here. And sometimes at this point, we're going to talk about if this is an accurate rate or not. if they're pretty healthy and they have no medications, all that stuff, I don't even bother doing it. I usually say it's about $4 more because they have this extra fee in there, whatever. So this is actually closer to $331. If they have a few medications, whatever, though, I'm going to let them know that, or if they're maybe a little heavy and they don't get preferred, I'm going to say, now basically what happens here too, so we know this, is that these are all preferred rates here, okay? Now, based on the fact that you have that one medication, you probably won't get preferred. You actually kind of might get bumped to standard. So the reality is that this 327 could turn into a 340 or a 345. But that's going to be all across the board anyways. Okay, so every company would do that. But that's going to be, I want you to know too that I want you to get an accurate idea of what your final premium total will actually be. Okay, so let's do that right from the beginning so you kind of know what the expectations are. All right, but that's a possibility. And then what we'll do as well is, as we're doing this, we'll work in the accident and then we'll work in the critical illness, and we'll do that in a minute. Okay, but does this seem like the one that would make sense? Yeah, that's the one we really, really want to do. That sounds good to me. Okay, and then how soon do you need to get that started? We need to get that started as soon as possible. Okay, well, what we'll do at this point then, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump right to the United Healthcare website, and then we're just going to do everything from there. Okay, and then basically what I do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in. They're going to see this. I mean, they can't see anything anyways. And then we start doing the application from here. Okay, but that's a basic rundown of the things that I do when I'm going through this with them. And hopefully, if you just listen to this 3 or 4 times, you'll get the rhythm and the flow. But it's pretty repeatable over and over again. And what's really cool about it is as you have this up and you're talking, they are already going to be looking for the differences. Okay, and they're going to be seeing where their value is. So when the time comes to make the decision about which one they want, it's super easy because they've pretty much already picked it. And it's them picking it, not us telling them which one they should do. So it's really quite amazing, and it works really, really well. All right, I hope that helps. Thanks.